I think you saw it. You felt the room go still. Hailey Bieber is allegedly losing it on live camera, tears welling in her eyes as she struggles to maintain composure. It wasn't a subtle moment of vulnerability. It was a raw, unfiltered breakdown, riveting millions of viewers in real time. Imagine sitting there, prepared to celebrate your biggest career milestone.
Justin, have you talked to your friend Kanye? Is he doing okay?
Justin Bieber's wife, Hailey Bieber, just sold her makeup company for a whopping $1 billion. It was a record-breaking beauty sale, and guys, what makes this even crazier is that Hailey Bieber built this company in less than 5 years. And what makes it even crazier on top of that is that all of this happened in spite of everything that we know is going on in their personal life. The PR wars, the legal litigation, the fact that Justin felt that he had to sell his entire life's work, the fact that she just became a mother, that she had an incredibly traumatic birth, that she almost died in childbirth.
Only to have your world tilt on its axis in front of a global audience. That's exactly what happened the moment Justin Bieber's post went live. In that instant, the studio lights burned brighter, her smile faltered, and you could practically hear the collective gasp echo through the internet. This was meant to be her triumph lap, a moment to bask in applause, not to wrestle with shock and embarrassment. Fans watching live described feeling heartbroken and speechless.
That she was able to build a company worth $1 billion and sell it while all of that was happening. Like, that is incredible. And it's just laughable to see all of these hit pieces and these tabloid articles come out saying she's draining him of money, she's the reason why he's broke. I think they're fine. She has something really great that she loves, that she has built. Obviously, he is in support of her. They're working on their creative endeavors. They're trying to get out of this mess, and this seems like an amazing path forward.
As Hailey's voice cracked mid-sentence, her rehearsed lines abandoned in favor of unguarded sobs. What I think matters most is that this wasn't a one-off emotional blip. It looked like the dam finally broke. Prior interviews hinted at tension between the two, but we'd never seen Hailey this undone. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she paused, hands trembling, before regaining enough strength to soldier through the rest of the segment. You could almost read the unspoken question on her lips. Why now?
It's time for you all to meet the attorney that Scooter Braun brought onto Justin Bieber's team when he was only 13 years old. And his name is Aaron Rosenberg, who at one point or another was basically representing all of Scooter Braun's clients, including Ariana Grande.
Why here? And if you ask me, it all traces back to that single Instagram caption from Justin, the one that triggered a chain reaction. It was the spark that lit the fuse, turning what should have been a smooth celebration into an explosive, unforgettable meltdown. Hailey's Vogue cover dropped on May 20th, 2025, and it was nothing short of iconic. She appeared in sleek Prada couture, diamonds from Tiffany glinting under the flash.
Justin still owes his label, which involves Scooter, 4 more albums. Justin can't do these albums without Scooter's involvement. And so if he wants to make music right now, if he wants to be releasing songs, it has to be with Scooter. And Scooter has to approve all of it. So again, another massive power imbalance.
Embodying that effortless, clean girl aesthetic that Vogue readers adore. Every detail was calculated. The soft pastel palette, the gentle wind teasing her hair, the confident tilt of her chin. Social feeds lit up instantly. Hailey is glowing. This is peak Hailey, read the headlines. This was supposed to...
Wouldn't it make sense to just let him go? Wouldn't it be rational to let him go and make great music and save your reputation in the last shreds of this relationship that you've had for the past 15 years?
Be peak Hailey. Model turned mogul. Visionary entrepreneur with her Rhode skincare line, now part of a $1 billion deal with ELF Beauty. Analysts praised her business savvy. Young creatives saw her as proof you could cross from influencer culture into legitimate corporate success. When that cover hit, she stood at the summit of two worlds, high fashion and high finance. But just as she was rising, someone yanked the spotlight away.
I mean, maybe that's just like too rational, but that seems like the most common sense take in this situation. But apparently, that's just not an option. Probably because the motivator is really about power and control.
Instead of interviews buzzing about her $1 billion win, the conversation pivoted to Justin's cryptic Instagram sermon. Viewers couldn't stop asking, did he mean her? And why overshadow her win? In the hours after the cover dropped, Vogue's own social channels saw engagement slump by nearly 40%, unheard of for such a momentous release.
not about what makes rational or even financial sense. Justin does have a great support system behind the scenes, probably the best support system that he has ever had in terms of his community and his business, but publicly, he needs our prayers and support so that he does not go through the same thing that we watched happen to Britney Spears, to Prince, to Elvis, and to Michael Jackson.
It was as if the entire industry blinked and missed her best scene. You think she didn't? Rehearse every word she'd deliver on every talk show and podcast? She mapped out her talking points: resilience, growth, gratitude. She prepared to narrate her journey from small-town model to boardroom power player. Instead, she was blindsided. Justin's post hit at the exact moment her Vogue feature peaked.
And in a crazy turn of events, I actually had the privilege to talk to people who are actually currently close to Justin, and basically everything that I assumed about what's going on was confirmed.
Hijacking every headline and turning her triumph into a footnote. And that wasn't the whole story. On June 3rd, Justin dropped a cryptic post that read, "The audacity of telling other humans they deserve something," plastered over a stark purple background, more sermon than celebration. It was not a congratulations for Hailey's moment. It was a reprimand aimed at someone. The timing was brutal. The post went live on the same day Hailey's Vogue cover dominated every fashion feed. To me, that felt like a deliberate eclipse. What stung fans most was the echo of a old blow.
The #1 search right now, a breakout search on Google, is what's wrong with Justin Bieber. Like, the entire narrative is that Justin Bieber is falling apart.
Remember that argument he had with Hailey, where he told her she'd never be on a Vogue cover? That line wasn't just overheard. It went viral when Justin himself admitted it in a later caption. Bringing it back on the day of her greatest win cut even deeper, as if he was reminding her, and the world.
All of this coincided with Selena Gomez's new album. And many have now tried to tie Selena's album back to Justin Bieber, which has then just fueled the divorce rumors with Justin and Hailey. And I can tell you guys, from what I have heard, none of that is true. And Selena is basically asking people to stop. She literally said, "I would like to say that most of this album has nothing to do with what everyone may go to."
Of a low blow from their past. Then came the editing. Hours after the backlash began, Justin scrubbed the original caption and replaced it with a string of emojis. No context, no apology, just symbols that only fueled the fire. It was a band-aid on a bullet wound. The internet smelled blood and pounced, parsing every like, every deleted word, every second guess until there was nothing left but questions.
I think it's important for me to say that because I've evolved so much. I've experienced life with new people. She's saying it's not just about Justin. And yet they continue to run these stories. Not just that, but say, "Oh, Hailey and Justin are on the rocks. Oh, they're so unhappy. He's cheating on her. Oh, he posted this." What is the motivation? Why do you continue when you objectively have facts saying that that is not the case?
Was he jealous? Was he embarrassed? Or was this a twisted celebration in disguise? And the aftermath was savage. Comment sections exploded with takes, accusing him of being tone deaf at best, intentionally cruel at worst. Critics argued the post wasn't a cryptic life lesson. It was an act of sabotage under the guise of Instagram wisdom. It wasn't lost on anyone that a simple "I'm proud of you" would have sufficed. Instead, we got a power play masquerading as profundity. Within minutes of Justin's post, extra support Hailey spiked on X, racing to the top of trending topics as fans rallied behind her.
Under the guidance and orchestration of Lou Taylor and Aaron Rosenberg, Justin Bieber sells his entire catalog to Hypnosis for $200 million. Justin was backed into a corner.
On Reddit, threads titled "He Ruined Her Moment" and "Protect Hailey at All Costs" amassed thousands of comments within an hour. One fan wrote, "How dare he steal her thunder on the one day she deserved every spotlight," while another clipped Hailey's Vogue video, urging everyone to watch her face drop, proof of his sabotage. The uproar didn't stop online. Celebrity influencers weighed in, sharing flashes of Hailey's Vogue spread with defiant captions like, "She earned this" and "Leave her cover alone." Some fans even dug up old interviews where Hailey talked about her dreams, juxtaposing them with Justin's jab to highlight how far she'd come and how cruelly she'd been knocked down. Divorce rumors, which have circulated since their courthouse wedding in 2018, reignited with a vengeance. Headlines asked, "Are they done?" and "Is this the final straw?" Even outlets that once defended the couple began reporting on marital strain, noting that sources close to Hailey admitted she was sad about the public scrutiny. Fans latched onto every whisper, convinced the post was the tipping point. It was more than disappointment. It felt like collective outrage.
financially and emotionally with not a lot of options, and this seemed like the clearest way out of the situation that he was in. After Justin thought that everyone was paid out, that everything was fine, Lou told him that he still had over $20 million in debt.
Supporters flooded Hailey's comments with heart emojis and messages. "We see you," "Don't let him steal your shine," and "You're stronger than this." They treated her not just as a star, but as a friend under attack. The message was clear. In the court of public opinion, Hailey had 99 allies for every one doubt. But the real kicker? This frenzy didn't die down overnight. It bubbled, simmered, and spilled into mainstream headlines, turning a simple Instagram post into a full-blown cultural moment. And if you thought that was the end of the story, you haven't seen anything yet. A Page Six insider insists Justin wasn't launching a covert attack. He was stumbling through a clumsy apology for that brutal never Vogue barb he'd once aimed at Hailey. According to the source, Justin realized immediately that he'd crossed a line. He tried to retract the blow by editing his post a few hours later, stripping out the accusatory text and replacing it with a string of innocuous emojis, praying hands, hearts, a simple smiley face, as if to say, "I regret this." But here's the thing. On social media, you only get one first impression. That initial caption hit like a jolt of betrayal for millions of followers. The insider admits that Justin's edit was intended as damage control, but it backfired spectacularly, making him look more defensive than remorseful. Sources say he spent the evening pacing, drafting a private text to Hailey begging her forgiveness, though she never publicly acknowledged it. Meanwhile, PR teams scrambled to spin the narrative, but by then the narrative had spun itself. Everyone was talking about his apology, not her achievement. The result was clear. Editing doesn't erase a mic drop moment. Hailey was left to pick up the pieces in public, fielding questions from stunned supporters and defending her own composure. She had to explain in interviews the next day that she was fine and grateful, all while still reeling from what happened on camera. But you'll want to hear how Hailey really felt. Their relationship has always unfolded in the glare of public scrutiny. They exchanged courthouse vows in 2018, then threw a lavish 2019 ceremony in South Carolina that played like a fairy tale. But behind the scenes, the registry of news clips tells a different story. Early on, Justin publicly lamented the pressures of fame, admitting in a TikTok video that he once told Hailey she'd never make it in modeling. And that confession blew up overnight. Since then, the couple has oscillated between PDA-laden Instagram posts and cryptic bursts of drama, late-night tweets hinting at misunderstandings, then follow-up videos of mutual support. In 2021, Hailey alluded to mental health struggles in a cover interview, suggesting the spotlight sometimes felt like a cage. Justin responded with tweets about growth and learning, but the pattern persisted. Every high-profile celebration seemed to invite another low-profile spat. Now riding high on Rhodes' billion-dollar exit and Hailey's Vogue coronation, the cracks have never been more visible. Observers note the irony that two of their biggest successes happened back-to-back, yet they landed like parallel lines that never intersect. Instead of sharing joy, they collided. And what Justin did next only fanned those flames. Contrast this with Hailey's Rhodes sale on May 28th. A masterstroke of business acumen, $1 billion in her pocket, and a long runway ahead. She's not just a pretty face anymore. She's a major player in beauty. Meanwhile, her husband's bold IG sermon looked more like a power grab, redirecting attention back to him at the worst possible moment. It's a paradox. She levels up. He sidesteps the win. And I think that tells you more about their dynamic than any argument ever could. But here's the kicker. Hailey's Vogue moment was her crowning achievement, only to be marred by the man who vowed to stand by her. Allegedly, she broke down live, the weight of public scrutiny and marital strain crashing down all at once. So what's next? Does she reclaim her narrative or retreat into silence? And does Justin learn to share her spotlight or watch it burn without him? Think about it. In a world where image is everything, how do you protect your triumph when the person you love most becomes your biggest obstacle? I think everyone in Hollywood noticed this blow-up. Friends of the couple quietly messaged their shock. One insider told Page Six that Rihanna slid into Hailey's DMs to offer support after seeing Justin's post. And believe me, when Rihanna speaks, people listen. Other A-listers posted vague tweets about standing by your partner right after the drama hit. Suddenly, it wasn't just fans. It was the entire industry weighing in. But that wasn't the last word. I think Justin's team scrambled fast. Within hours of the backlash, his reps issued a statement through people.com calling the initial post a heartfelt reflection on humility and insisting he celebrates Hailey's success. Yet you and I both know that spin only fuels more suspicion. He even did an Instagram live the next day, rambling about faith and gratitude, trying to steer the narrative back on track. But once you lose trust, you can't just talk your way out of it. And then, the real fallout began. I think this scandal could define their next chapter. Hailey's not just a model anymore, she's a business titan, set to earn up to $200 million in earnouts from the Road deal in 2028. If she chooses to lean into that power, do you really see her staying silent? Meanwhile, Justin's Skylark label is still in stealth mode, and fans are mocking his fashion. Soft launch from her closet racks. The way I see it, she's on the rise and he's scrambling to keep up. So what happens when the mogul outruns the pop star? Think about it. In a world where image is currency, will Hailey cash out, and will Justin be left bankrupt of clout?